Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. We'll reset down by 2. Mike Woodson not calling timeout.
And I like that move.
In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for three. Puts it in! Knicks by 1 with 8.2 remaining.
Couldn't hear me for a second. Yo, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another preview. I believe this is the second preview I've brought, where I brought like just a night before type of Q&A, where I talked about the upcoming game, or I believe I recapped the game, and then I talked about the upcoming game versus the Pistons. And I'm still going to bring like preview videos, but I just thought it'd be a lot more fun to bring live streams. You know, just live streams are a lot more fun, just hearing your feedback and your guys' thoughts on the upcoming games and all that. But I have tons of topics that we could talk about, just tons of banners that I did set up, just questions to ask you guys, and certain bullet points to talk about as well. But what's going on, Buzzer Beater? Great support of the channel. I appreciate being here. He says, it's Buzzer Beater. Pitches. Then he goes on to say, Hawks got cooked and served with green beans and potatoes. I didn't see the final score of that game. I'm actually watching football today. Like, I usually just watch basketball all the time, but when football's on, it's a totally different story. Let's see. The Hawks lost 126-109, and they don't even have LaMelo healthy, I think, but just gonna let a couple more people join in, and then we could talk about this. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I may even invite some people on if anyone's interested in joining, giving your thoughts, analysis. Try to get one of my bros on today, but he's out with his girl. Shout out to my boy. Hopefully all's well. He's having a good time, and then my other boys at work. So yeah, but we take on the Orlando Magic tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, and taking on the Magic, it's never an easy task. So but just let a few more people get in here. But yeah, recap that Hawks. Did you watch the Hawks game, Buzzer Beater? Did you watch that game? Or did you just see the final score? Hopefully you guys hear me all good. Let me double check. Just gotta double check real quick. Let's see. I think you guys do hear me good. Just gonna wait for some people to tune in. Looks like YouTube didn't send out notifications. Yeah, if there's barely anyone listening, I'll probably just stop the live stream and make a video. But what's going on to the people that are tuned in right now? And what's your score prediction for this upcoming game tomorrow? We're going to be getting into it. I just want there to at least be like a decent amount of people to talk about it. Yo, what's going on, Drew? How you doing, Drew? He says, well, RJ did not give me a 30-piece, but he did give me a 30-piece in fantasy. Yeah, I've never done fantasy for NBA or even NFL, so when I'm thinking about it. He distributed the ball well. He had 18 points. Yeah, I don't know how the points really work in fantasy compared to football, but let's get into it. So we're taking on the 0-3 Orlando Magic at Madison Square Garden, and I think it's an interesting game because when you take a look at the Orlando Magic's opponents that they went on to take on, they've actually been close competitive games, but we know they're a young squad. They're just learning how to win basketball games at the end of the day. There's been some ups and downs. They need to learn how to close out games. As in the Pistons game, their opening night on the road, they lost 113-109 to the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, we went on to kill the Detroit Pistons. The Atlanta Hawks game, they lost 108-98, but I believe they were at least up a little bit in that basketball game at one point. And then the Boston Celtics game, their latest game, which was actually last night, they lost 126-120, and they were up at least 4 or 5 points at one point in that game. But they're just learning how to close out games. And then you look at the Celtics closers, they have like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You have to keep that in mind as well. So there definitely is more experience there, more polished players. But I really do believe the Magic have decent talent for sure. But they haven't won a game, but they've been close, they've been competitive, and they're a talented team. They're still learning how to win basketball games at the end of the day. So those are pretty much the results of the Orlando Magic, and they have a young, talented starting five. They're pretty bagged up when it comes to their bench that we're going to be getting into. But you look at the point guard position as of right now, they have Cole Anthony there because someone went on to get hurt that we're going to be getting into. We have Terrence Ross. We're going to be talking about him for sure. Franz Wagner, a nice upcoming young player who's been contributing very nicely in the league. You look at the forward position, you have Paolo Banchero, the number 1 overall pick, who's definitely impressed. Then you look at the 5 position of Wendell Carter Jr., they actually got in that Vucevic trade. Same thing with Franz Wagner, and that's been a great trade for the Orlando Magic, especially when it comes to long term. And the big thing with Wendell Carter Jr. has been staying healthy. He's definitely stayed healthy when it's come to being a part of the Orlando Magic. So now let's get to the injury report, because we're definitely going to be getting into in-depth things that the New York Knicks should key in on. But when it comes to the injury report, the Magic are definitely killed with injuries, as I'm going to share my screen right here. So starting off, you have Mo Wagner. So obviously Franz Wagner, his brother's better, has more upside, but Mo Wagner was actually a very solid piece for the Magic last year. I believe he was double digits in points. He's stronger, he's more experienced than his brother, but his brother has better footwork. He's just more polished out there on the basketball floor. But he's a decent piece, you know? He's not someone that scares me like crazy, but he's going to be out when it comes to his basketball game. And then you take a look at Markelle Fultz. I actually believe he went on to fracture his toe, like even before the season started. He's just had bad luck. So when it comes to depth right there at the backup point guard position, that definitely does hurt them. He's going to be out in this game, but this is a huge injury here. Jalen Suggs, he went on to have an ankle injury. And it seems like since he's come in the league, he's just been having these injuries. When he has played, he's shown improvement. He's shown progression, but he's had these setbacks with these injuries, which really does suck. And this is someone that's inconsistent scoring the ball or inconsistent shooting the ball from the outside, but he came off with some solid games when he was playing with the Magic. He had an over 20-point night. He was more efficient in the scoring column, and he does need to get better when it comes to his handle. It could be loose, but he's a very solid defensive player, and he plays with a high motor. He's athletic. I do like what Suggs brings to the table, so that's going to be a huge loss. And we know Isaac's going to be out when it comes to his basketball game. Garrett Harris, like, he may be out, but it doesn't have him on the latest injury report. I don't know when Isaac's going to come back. I feel like he hasn't played basketball in a very long time. Like, good defensive player, his offensive game's held him back when it's come to his career. But then you go on to take a look at the New York Knicks. So I'm going to be stopping sharing my screen and then pulling up the Knicks injury report. You know, it's a pretty important injury for the New York Knicks, as he's going to continue to be out. So you look at the New York Knicks injury report right here. The only guy out day-to-day, Quentin Grimes. And everything I've looked at lately with Quentin Grimes, there's no timetable. And when they took a look at the x-ray, there wasn't anything serious. He just went on to aggravate his sore foot when they went on to play him in that 4th preseason game. And hopefully he's back soon, because if Grimes doesn't play, like, it's going to be a huge opportunity for Reddish. Like, if Reddish goes on to play well, it's going to affect that backup rotation like crazy. You know, I'm not saying Grimes won't have a spot when it comes to that backup rotation, but what if someone plays really well and it's like, okay, Reddish brings us different elements, we may experiment with him, like at the starting position if Fournier continues to struggle, but then you also have to realize that Tom Thibodeau needs a huge sample size in order to really make a change like that, or we would really have to be losing like crazy to make that type of move. But let's say quickly is just really inconsistent. What if we end up having Derrick Rose starting at the point guard position? Then you have Quentin Grimes, you have Cam Reddish, then you have Obi, and then you have Isaiah Hartenstein in the backup unit. But if Grimes continues to be out longer and longer, a lot of things change when it comes to that second unit. But yeah, it says right here, Quentin Grimes was limited to free throws in practice Sunday. So he's just shooting free throws. He's not even, so it doesn't even look like or sound like he's close to being back, honestly. And it's considered day-to-day. Let's see what the chat is saying. Mark my words, this is the playoff team. Leon and Scott's vision is finally here. We'll see what goes on to happen, man. Hope so. Fultz is bordering on being a bust. Yeah, he's just been very unlucky, you know. I feel like it's just mental with him, because when we saw him out there on the court when he was with the Orlando Magic healthy, I'm not saying he was looked like the first overall pick, but he's still a solid basketball player. Not like he's bad. He's just had some bad luck with injuries, sadly, that has gotten in his way. But those are the injuries for the Magic and the New York Knicks. And I'm going to be talking about later on in the show how those injuries could really affect the Orlando Magic when it comes to this game. And one of the first things I want to talk about when it comes to this Magic team that we're taking on here. So the first game of the season, or one of the first games of the season, first 3 games through the 2021 to 22 season, we destroyed the Orlando Magic. But then the next couple times we played them, it's like I believe we had blown leads in both of those. And that's been the theme when we played the Orlando Magic. We start off so strong. We have a huge lead versus the Orlando Magic. We're hitting threes, good ball movement. We're getting after defensively, and then the ball starts to stick. And then a man named Terrence Ross just catches fire. And Terrence Ross, we could talk about his 3-point shooting, but besides that also, like he brings something else to the table that kind of scares me or really scares me when it comes to this Evan Fournier matchup. Evan Fournier is an okay team defender, but one-on-one, I hate this matchup like crazy because Terrence Ross isn't just someone who can hit threes outside on the perimeter and get their team back in the game. This dude is good at moving without the basketball. He can cut back door. He's extremely athletic. He's 31 years old, but that's not crazy old for the NBA or anything like that. But the way this dude leaps in the air, sometimes you think he's a rookie or it's his second or third year in the league. That's how athletic Terrence Ross is. So I hate this assignment for an Evan Fournier. And he just is good at overcoming adversity, hitting those very difficult shots. And I even think he's an underrated defender, but he's continuously killed the New York Knicks, it feels like, for the last few years. And we cannot take our foot off the gas. If we are up 9, 10 points, we have to continue to do what we've been doing. We can't go on to play Euro ball. Randall can't dribble the ball out. RJ can't dribble the ball out when it comes to a shot clock. We have to hold quickly accountable if he goes on to do that as well. But we have to get up in Terrence Ross's jersey, and it scares me because our rotations outside on the perimeter, the communication of defending the three-point line has been inconsistent. Like the Pistons game, yes, the Pistons only made 8 threes last game and were absolutely atrocious from beyond the arc, but they missed some open threes. Cade Cunningham left a lot of threes flat outside on the perimeter, and eventually Sadiq Bey started to get things going as well. So this is a team that we cannot allow open threes outside on the perimeter. We have to collapse. We have to get up in their jersey. And I don't think there's that guy on this team that it's like we have to key in on him like crazy, like a John Morant. Like that style of play, I mean. There's a guy that we have to key in on that I'm going to be getting into. But another thing, we can't allow offensive rebounds as well when it comes to this basketball club because besides Terrence Ross, there's a guy named Cole Anthony who, yes, Cole Anthony sometimes could shoot 40% from the field, but then some games he could shoot 50, 60% from the field because he's mentally tough. There's no shot that he doesn't like. He could shoot it from the outside. And like some games he just catches fire and he's absolutely unbelievable. And I'm very interested to see how that matchup's going to be versus a Jalen Brunson as well. But yeah, I talked about the Terrence Ross and Evan Fournier matchup. Evan Fournier is going to have to not take dumb shots. He's going to have to play within the flow of the offense. And I give credit to Julius Randle there. He's going to have his questionable moments when it comes to shooting the ball, but he's done a good job. Like when he hit those threes the other night versus the Pistons, they were within the flow of the offense and he was attacking. He wasn't settling a lot. And when he was settling, you could say they were open quality shots. But Evan Fournier is going to have to do his job of relocating, just hitting threes when it matters most, or just hitting open threes. And if they do chase you off the 3-point line, and there is room in the inside, then yeah, get to that push-out floater. But Terrence Ross definitely does kill me and scare me when it comes to this game with his athleticism and his ability to hit difficult shots. Should we start a box-out campaign? We definitely should. We definitely need to do a better job boxing out. We still got out-rebounded in that Pistons game. What's going on, Spectaz, Nero? How are you doing, man? Every game Cam plays like what's going on, Jaw, with the sauce? He says every game Cam plays, he looks more and more good as a starter. Last game, yeah, he didn't put up crazy stats, but I thought he looked comfortable, and I think that's one of the main things. His shot was flat last game, and I love that he played with the constant energy. Yes, the production wasn't there, but what I loved the most was it looked like he was ready to play when he entered the game, which you just ask for, and I thought he brought it. Yeah, we're going to be getting into that matchup for sure, buzzer beater. Terrence Ross either shoots 70% or shoots 20% or shoots 70%. Yeah, there's no in between. He's a flamethrower when he's on. Like, he's either hot or cold, and you could say the same thing with Cole Anthony when it comes to his basketball squad. But yeah, Evan Fournier's gonna have to be smart. He's gonna have to play his ass off and just be disciplined. Don't jump passing lanes for no reason. But it's funny that buzzer beater brought it up because the Julius Randle and Paolo Banchero matchup, and this could be an interesting matchup because both of these guys have grown man NBA bodies. Like these guys are are huge, and they both do a decent job taking advantage of their strength. It's very early on in Paolo Banchero's NBA career, first overall pick. Randall, I think he does a good job taking advantage of his strength when he doesn't settle. Sometimes he uses his strength and settles for those fadeaways, which I'm not a big fan of. But when you take a look at Paolo's like the way he started off so far, he's had his 20-point nights, but he hasn't been extremely efficient. He has taken some bad shots, but he has shown that he's a pretty deep bag. He has a sidestep, and he can create and shoot jump shots off the dribble. And he's also athletic. He plays extremely hard. Like, he doesn't really play like a rookie when I really watch him play out there on the floor. And he's been better defensively than I really thought as well. He's been more disciplined than I thought. So when you watch Paolo, it seems like he's not fazed by anything out there when you watch him play. And I think Randall's going to have to be physical. He's going to have to play really hard and remind Paolo that this is still the NBA. This is one of the hardest leagues in the world. And go at him. Go at him, attack the basket, but at the same time, don't try to do too much dribbling the ball. Still try to score within the flow of the offense and get your teammates involved. Stick to the plan of what you've done the last couple of games. And I think Randall will be in good shape. But Paolo is a pretty deep bag, and I think it's going to be a tougher assignment than some people think on defense if you haven't watched a lot of Orlando Magic games. But I would force him to be inefficient and just really catch him in those situations, try to rush him. And he's someone that actually is unique playing patient as a rookie, but make it his first game that he's playing fast and he's not like the game's not slowed down for him. Make him rush shots. Like, Jaden Ivey eventually got it together at one point in that game versus the Knicks, but we really sped him up at one point, and got him to play out of control. We need to do that to Paolo Banchero, and he's shown he's been okay with shooting the three ball, but force him outside on the perimeter. Make sure that he doesn't want to drive inside in the paint. Mitchell Robinson is going to have to be a force and just be like, nope, this is my paint. Like, I want that type of mentality from Mitchell Robinson this game, but if I'm being real, Paolo's going to be a damn good player in this league for a long time. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup to see someone that may not be as experienced, but let's just say he's kind of he's playing better than like he should for a rookie when it comes to basketball IQ and making certain situations making certain reads out there on the basketball floor. But I'm going to see what the chat's saying a little bit. But what are your guys' thoughts on this matchup? What are your thoughts on this matchup, guys? Yo, my man Sheer, what's going on, man? Yo, if you ever wanna pop in, I'll drop the link for you, dude. If you're down. Knicks are deep. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting into the bench for sure. Yo, my man Carl, great supporter of the channel, always sticking with me. I appreciate you. Yeah, I do like Paolo a lot. He's a grown ass man. Yeah, I think he's going to be the rookie of the year. It's still very early on, but he looks really good. Let's see what else. Let me catch up on these. Yeah, let's get this W tomorrow. What makes you say that, dude? Fournier struck like it's so weird with Tibbs though. If we're winning, see, this is the thing with Tibbs though. If we're winning and Fournier's still not playing great, I feel like he's going to stay in the starting lineup. It's like we'll really have to be struggling and losing in order for Fournier to not start, I feel like, because the Alfred Payton situation, we're winning. And if a player's thriving off the bench, let's say Cam Reddish just has a pop year. Let's say he's averaging like 16, 18 off the bench, and we're winning. Tibbs is going to be like, okay, but he's really good in that role, though, off the bench. He doesn't need to be a starter. Like, I feel like that's kind of what his mindset is. If it's not broke, like, don't fix it type of thing. I don't know. Tibbs is very interesting. Honestly, I don't think Tibbs will leave Fournier out there against Ross to just get burned. Cam can shut Ross down if he gets hot. But when the starters are out there, like, you still have to – I'm going to be getting into another player that I think is damn good for the Orlando Magic. But, yeah, Paolo is a pretty deep bag for someone that is a rookie, so I think it's going to be a tough assignment for Randall. But he's going to have to be mentally tough and go at him. We got to make sure Killicam and Obi get consistent minutes. I think they will definitely in this game when I get into one of my other points. Let's get this W, Drew. If you haven't already, smash the like button, by the way. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Ray says, good vibes. I appreciate the good vibes, man. I appreciate you spreading positivity. Yeah, I didn't get to watch Starks. I obviously know about the history of Starks and all that, but yeah, I didn't get to watch Starks. It's too young. So I think that Julius Randle and Paolo Banchero matchup is going to be very interesting. I believe he's had like 20 points through his first 3 games, but we'll see if Randle holds him to like his non-first 20-point game. All right, now how will Mitch match up against Wendell Carter Jr.? So Wendell Carter Jr. is obviously a part of that Nikola Vucevic trade. They got some draft picks in exchange. One resulted. They got Franz Wagner, obviously, in the same draft. Jalen Suggs, and Franz Wagner actually went after Jalen Suggs. And then you end up with Wendell Carter Jr., who I've always liked as a player. Like him coming out of Duke, he was so smart that I believe he even got a scholarship. He even had the opportunity to go to school at Harvard. This is a very disciplined, smart basketball player. But the big concern with him was how could he be offensively, and staying healthy. That was the main theme. Like he was a solid player in Chicago, but he was not able to stay healthy. And he's been pretty reliable for the Orlando Magic. And this can be a tough matchup for Mitchell Robinson. And when Mitchell Robinson sets those screens, they're gonna have to be at some hard ass screens. And when he rolls to the basket or cuts to the basket, he's gonna have to cut extremely hard because Wendell Carter Jr. has these long arms. He's a tall center and he's pretty disciplined and he does a good job disrupting those alley oops as well. I'm going to be getting into his offensive game as well. But the theme with not Wendell Carter Jr., Mitchell Robinson is he doesn't have that many great games on his resume when it comes to going up against good to great centers, especially with centers that have more than one thing in their bag. Wendell Carter Jr. isn't just a lob threat. He brings more to the table. He's not a consistent three-point shooter yet, but he won't be afraid to pop to the outside and shoot a three or shoot from mid-range territory. He has a baby hook as well. So this is someone that's actually pretty unpredictable at the center position, and Mitchell Robinson's going to have to be able to stay out there on the basketball floor and not get into foul trouble. He's going to have to play straight hands of fundamental defense. We're going to need him in this basketball game, especially because Isaiah Hartenstein sometimes gets into foul trouble as well. And I don't think he's as light on his feet compared to a Mitchell Robinson. I know they're totally different centers. And we also need Mitch not just for the defense of the interior. I think he's going to do a solid job at times and get his, but there's just going to be moments that I'm like his unpredictability is kind of gonna hurt Mitch. But offensively, Jalen Brunson does need that security blanket. As much as I like Hartenstein, and he's actually a pretty damn good athlete that we haven't seen the full arsenal of. Mitch is more of he jumps higher. He has a bigger catch radius than Isaiah Hartenstein, and their length, like we're gonna have to be unpredictable when it comes to the offense side of the basketball, especially when it comes to their defense. Like someone just brought up Bol Bol in the chat. He's actually gotten some solid minutes. He had a few blocks the other night. And don't forget Mo Bamba, longest wingspan in the NBA, and he could pop to the outside. I'm going to be talking about him a little more when it comes to the bench. So Mitch is going to have to be physical. He's going to have to box out. And Wendell Carter Jr. is a strong dude as well. Yeah, Grimes is not playing tomorrow. He's not playing tomorrow. I got into the injury report earlier. What's going on, Keith? How you doing, Keith? But we can't allow second chance opportunities, especially when you have guys like Cole Anthony and Terrence Ross that can get hot, and another offensive versatile piece that we're going to be getting into as well. But Mitch can't just rely on his athleticism. He's going to have to be strong, boxing out. I'm not expecting him to put up crazy points, but dominate in the rebound department and be disciplined because this is going to be a pretty tough matchup. All right, now getting into Broadway Barrett up against Franz Wagner. And Franz Wagner was actually on my list to win Rookie of the Year last year. I thought he had a damn good year. I believe he was nearly a part of the 50-40-90 club. Not extremely close, but he shot nearly 50% from the field. He shot nearly 40% from three. Shot very well from the free throw line. And he's not extremely flashy, but he's smart. He plays at an extremely great pace. And how is RJ Barrett going to keep up with Franz Wagner on the defense side of the basketball? RJ Barrett, he has to be locked in. He has to be very aware of the surroundings in this game because Franz Wagner, he can cut and move without the basketball. Terrence Ross can cut and move without the basketball. There's going to be constant movement in this Orlando Magic offense, and he can't fall asleep. We see those moments at times, and RJ is going to have to be locked in when it comes to man-to-man. And Franz Wagner, he can get buckets in several ways. I know some people may look at his three-point percentage right now. It's not great, but it's literally 3 games of the season. We saw he could shoot it very well from the outside, but we're going to have to force Franz Wagner to settle and not let him get into those hesitations and have that solid body control around the basket, just force him, bottle him up, and RJ is going to have to be unpredictable because Franz Wagner is actually a pretty damn good defender. He's not crazy athletic, but he's someone that's disciplined and has very good fundamentals. He has his brother, obviously, in the league that plays with him, of Mo Wagner, came out of Michigan as well. Both of them came out of Michigan, and he's taught him some things defensively. He plays extremely strong, but he's actually a sneaky athlete. I don't know if you remember last season's game when we took on the Magic. Franz Wagner had a huge dunk and a huge moment in the fourth quarter, and it seems like he's even deepened his bagged a little bit with a baby step back. But yeah, RJ's gonna have to, like, when we saw that spin move versus the Pistons, I loved it because there was not a predictability of he's driving right or he's driving left. No, he had very good body control. There was good fluidity. He was solid with his handle. Went to the spin move. It just looked unpredictable. So I want RJ to use up fakes. I want him to use spin moves. I want him to use baby hesitations. I'm not asking for like some crazy hesitations or anything like that. And let's see him knock down some threes in this game. The first couple games of the season, he has not knocked down a three yet, but we need him to knock down the three. We need him to be disciplined. And when he gets to the rack, he has to realize that I don't always have to force it around the basket. I don't always have to put up an awkward off-balance floater. Defense is collapsed. That means someone's open outside on the perimeter or someone's cutting. Find Mitch Robinson inside. And I thought he did a good job distributing the ball last game when he looked off the defense and found someone on the paint. Might have been Randall, might have been Mitch. I'm trying to think at the top of my head, but RJ's going to have to just be smart. I'm not asking him to drop 30 or 40 points, but just get your teammates involved and get after it defensively. I want another efficient game. Just like, we don't want crazy inconsistency. We know there's going to be good games. We know there's going to be bad games. But if you're going to be consistent at one thing, it's getting your teammates involved and help put your team in the best position to be successful and win games. So Franz Wagner is going to be a tough matchup, and we have to close out on him as well. He's pretty good mechanics from beyond the arc. He's still young, but yeah, RJ is going to have to showcase his athleticism. I do believe he is more athletic than Franz Wagner. I don't think there's a crazy difference, though, because they're both like rely on body control, pace. They're not pure athletes, but they both are pretty sneaky, good athletes. But RJ needs to be very physical. He has to use his strength and work downhill. He definitely does. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, Wendell Carter Jr., that's actually one of the comparisons he got coming out of the draft. And what was it, 2018? I think Al Horford, not a extremely flashy player, but smart player. I don't know if he could be an all-star if he hits his free throws and boxes out, because I think he would have to add more. Like, he could play like an all-star maybe, but the all-star teams are just so stacked it's hard to make an all-star team, honestly. Let's see what else you guys are saying. But what's going on, Andrew? I hope all is well. Starks had more athleticism versus Fournier, so Starks was able to open up the offense more. Fournier's probably the most unathletic. Yeah, he doesn't play like he's 6'7". That's the problem. Like, Grimes is 6'4". He's not crazy athletic, but he plays extremely hard. Magic are big and athletic with Paulo, Bamba, Isaac, and the Wagners. Yeah, I know one of the Wagners is not playing. Mo Wagner, he's out. Our interior defense got to be sturdy. Yeah, we need a box out. We can't allow second chance opportunities. Yeah, I brought up Bol Bol. That was a great point, Drew. Does Wendell Carter Jr. remind you of Young? And oh yeah, I read that already. RJ needs to use his athleticism against Wagner. I like Franz Wagner. He's not athletic. He's just a good basketball player. I agree, man. It just seems like he really takes his craft serious. And when he was playing with his international team, he was pretty damn good as well. Wagner will always play well against RJ. Yeah, RJ's going to have to be smart. He's going to have to be smart. Because he has the strength, he has the athleticism to keep up with him. But Franz has some underrated moves when going to the basket. If Wagner can improve his three-point shot from 35% to 38%, he could be a really good three-level scorer, as he's already good at the rim. And his mid-range is smooth. Yeah, he's a damn good player, man. I wish RJ had Wagner's game. I would switch them out in a heart. Yeah. RJ's our guy right now, though. We got to support him. Dude. But yeah, he's a really good player. Mo Bamba and Jonathan Isaac are going to be journeymen at best if they don't deliver this season. Well, Mo Bamba actually re-signed with the Magic this season. He actually got a contract with them. And I respect what Mo Bamba did. He just accepted, I'm a backup at this point in my career, and he just stuck with it. Or it might have been a 1 year, though. I'm not sure what the contract was. Fournier needs to get traded. I don't blame you there. 3-1 Knicks. To be honest, these next two games, we play like the last two games should be easy dubs. I want to see the Anthony. Yeah, I'm going to be getting into that for sure. Quickly hasn't made much improvements. Yeah, I think Quickly's talented. It just comes down to up here making the right decisions with the ball. Yeah, the schedule does get crazy, dude. And I don't even think it's the schedule getting crazy. I just think it's the talent in this league's insane now. Like, even the worst teams have so much talent now. Like, the Magic have talent, and they're not going to be that good this season. Like, the Jazz, no one expected them. Someone made up a great point. The Jazz are freaking, 2-0 right now? They beat the Timberwolves. This is out of nowhere, but yeah. It's still very early in the season, though. So, yeah, talk about R.J. Barrett, Franz Wagner. This offense definitely needs to be unpredictable. But let's talk about the Jalen Brunson and Cole Anthony matchup. So, Cole Anthony, I wasn't really high on him, honestly, coming out of North Carolina, but he's kind of proven me wrong, to be honest, especially for where he was drafted. And one thing you can't take away from Cole Anthony, this dude's a bulldog. He plays extremely hard. He's extremely mentally tough. He's hit a couple clutch shots with the Orlando Magic. And this is going to be an interesting matchup. It really is, because some people may look at Cole Anthony's only like 6'2", 6'3", but he's athletic. And he's a quick first step, and he can work down the lane and throw it down. And he's someone that has step backs. Sometimes he may not take the best of shots in the world, and throughout his career, he's not shot it efficiently. But again, we cannot allow offensive rebounds and not defend outside on the perimeter and allow a Terrence Ross to get an open look or Cole Anthony, because these guys can get hot in a hurry and take over this game. If we're up 10, yeah, we cannot fall asleep on the boards. We cannot fall asleep outside on the perimeter, because Terrence Ross is experienced. He's been in the league for a long time. When he was drafted by the Raptors, I know that was like in 2010s, somewhere around that. Maybe 2011 he was drafted, or the John Wall draft, something like that. But he's been in the league for a long time. You know, he's been in the playoffs with the Orlando Magic, even if it hasn't really been extremely far in the first round. He definitely has experience, and he's not afraid of the big moment. He could still score the ball in bunches. But anyway, with Cole Anthony, he could break you down off the dribble. He could even get to that mid-range shot sometimes. He could finish well around the basket. He's like kind of Brunson's like build, like not the tallest in the world, but is extremely strong and plays extremely physical. But when it comes to the defense side of the basketball, I do think Brunson, I don't really think anyone really has the edge much. I think it just comes down to who makes the better basketball plays. And I do trust Jalen Brunson making the extra pass more or making the better read. I'm not saying Cole Anthony doesn't average a lot of assists. He actually does average a decent amount of assists. But when it comes to taking the right shots, I do trust Jalen Brunson in this game. And I do think Jalen Brunson's going to be able to take advantage of Cole Anthony when it comes to his hesitations, his up and unders. We saw what he did on a Jaden Ivey. He's a 3-level scorer. He can shoot it from the outside, can finish out the basket, and get to the free throw line. So it just depends who's going to be more physical as well, get to the free throw line, and take advantage of each other on the defense side of the basketball. I personally think this is going to be an extremely great matchup. I do think Jalen Brunson's the better player. It just depends what Cole Anthony are we going to get this upcoming game. Are we going to have Cole Anthony that's extremely off, or Cole Anthony that's hot, or he's just extremely off in the first half and then we fall asleep on defense and he just takes advantage in the second half? So we'll see what goes on to happen with that matchup. I think it's going to be an extremely great matchup, but we're going to have to obviously contest every shot of Cole Anthony and not allow him to get into a rhythm. He's a difficult shot maker. Yeah, I got into that. Suggs is out. He is out with an ankle injury. Well, I think this is one of the most pivotal things when it comes to the New York Knicks taking on the Orlando Magic. The Knicks bench needs to take advantage. I mentioned the injuries, and if you look at the depth charts here, I'm going to pull up the depth chart. Let's pull it up. And I mentioned their injuries, so I like their starting five. But at the end of the day, Markelle Fultz is out, potentially, or he is out. Gary Harris looks like he's going to be out. Even though I didn't see him on the latest injury report, he may be out. Chuma Okeke or Chuma Okeke, he's a solid defensive player, but he's very limited on the offense side of the basketball. He's very athletic, though, so that's another guy we're going to have to look out cutting. No Jonathan Isaac. Mo Bamba. Bol Bol has gotten some action. They don't even have Bol Bol on the depth chart. ESPN needs to get their shit together. But Suggs usually is the starter, but Suggs is out with that ankle injury. But the two guys we have to watch out for is definitely Bol Bol and Mo Bamba with their length. Like I said, we can't be predictable in offense. We have to get them up in the air and draw fouls because both of these guys have extremely long arms. Like, if I'm like, I remember Mo Bamba when he was drafted, it was like the longest wingspan in NBA history. Bol Bol has to be up there because Bol Bol, what is he? 7'2", 7'3", something like that. Extremely long wingspan. We know his father, second tallest player in NBA history behind George Merson by like a centimeter. And we know the shots he was able to block for sure. I believe he had like 8 blocked shots in one game, something ridiculous like that. But I do trust our bench more when it comes to 1 through 5, and I think Derrick Rose is going to be able to take advantage with his experience, take advantage with his bag. But the one thing I am concerned with is Mo Bamba's ability to pop to the outside. And Isaiah Hartenstein, I don't trust his perimeter defense. I really don't. So those pick and pops, I kind of am afraid of, if I'm being completely honest, because Isaiah Hartenstein can be flat-footed outside of the perimeter. But are they going to make the nice amount of reads or the right reads to really find him out there? We'll see what goes on to happen. But yes, Mo Bamba hasn't lived up to that lottery pick status, but he's still a very solid player that has some talent, and he's actually had a history of being decent against us as well. But yeah, no Mo Wagner as well. They definitely are banged up when it comes to injuries, when it comes to the bench, and hopefully those guys have speedy recoveries for them. But this can be a tough game. Like, I think it's gonna be tougher than people think. But if we are up, we can't take our foot off the gas. Like, everyone's gonna have to come to play. Like, Randall's gonna have to remind Paolo, yeah, you're playing good basketball, but this is still the NBA. Like, I want Randall to give Paolo like his welcome to the NBA moment. Like, I want him to have huge and one, just bulldoze his ass to the basket. But he's a strong dude as well. He's not built like a twig. He's not like a Chet Holmgren coming out of the draft. He's not like a Jaden Ivey that we could just knock these guys over. Like I was talking about with, yeah, Ivy's taller than a Brunson. Brunson be physical with him because he's a leaner guy, Ivy. But Paolo, he's just very mature for someone that is young. Like, yes, you're the first overall pick for a reason, but just having that maturity at such a young age is definitely special. And I think he's going to be a good player in this league. And he has that fadeaway jumper. He has the up and unders. Like, I'm interested to see how Paolo's going to be in this upcoming game for sure. But I'll read the chat. If you guys have any points or want me to talk about something, be free to put in the chat. And if anyone wants to join the show, let me know and I'll drop the link. If you want to leave your predictions or anything like that, yeah, I'll be free to drop the link and you can come in and we can talk. Let me just turn up the volume on here just in case anyone joins. All right. Yeah, 76ers. I saw they lost to the Spurs last night. It's crazy. But we're just talking Knicks right now, but I appreciate you tuning in, Jay. Hopefully we come out victorious. I'm pretty pumped. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if all you guys are Giants fans in chat. Some of you guys may be Jets fans. But my Giants came out with a scary W today. And I'm just happy about that right now, the way the Giants are playing. But stick to the Knicks. I don't like to change the subject. Yeah, I think the Sixers will be fine. But it's just Doc Rivers. The Lakers, I don't believe in though. But yeah, my bad. Let's stick to the Knicks. I predict Paolo Banchero will make the all. Damn, you think he's gonna make the All-Star team as a rookie? That'd be wild. Yeah, I want Randall to bust that ass, dude. I want Randall to attack, bro. Like, I've liked the way Randall's played. It's still very early on, but I've liked his approach that one play in the game when he just rallied the troops and communicated with them. But as of right now, first 2 games in, who do you think's been the best player so far this season? Between Brunson and Randall. All I want this season is when we have a double-digit lead to not throw it in 5 minutes. I'm right there with you, man. We got to be able to close out. But just now really thinking about it, and after I talked about it, it still scares me. Like, I know Fournier's probably not going to be on Ross the entire game, but you saw Franz Wagner that can get buckets. And he's versatile, Swiss Army knife type of player with his defense as well. And Wendell can go to that hook shot. Like, this Magic team, their starting lineup's fine, but their depth I don't really believe in. But we'll see how Jamal Mosley does as well, the way he coaches. I know some Magic fans aren't huge fans of him, but we definitely do have an advantage there when it comes to the head coaching position. Cam needs to score at least 12 to 15 points. What do you think Cam needs to do tomorrow to stay in the rotation even when Grimes returns? That's such a great question, dude. It's a great question. Be free to answer everyone in the chat. because I don't know when Grimes is going to be back. So I'm going to share this. I don't know if you're in here earlier, Andrew, when I shared my screen with you guys. So Grimes, all right, there we go. So Grimes was limited today in practice to just free throws because we went on to play him in that 4th preseason game, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I don't know how foot soreness works. I saw the most you could be out when it comes to foot soreness is 6 weeks. When I just looked it up on Google, I remember I was really curious about that. And if Grimes is out for a decent amount of weeks, it's really it might change this rotation. It may change a lot of things depending on performances of these players. But he's limited just free throws right now, so I don't know when he's going to be back because he's not even like in scrimmages, doing drills. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Reddish, he needs to continue to take advantage of his opportunity. He's going to have to continue to play hard, play aggressive, even if his shots aren't falling, get after it defensively. Just make the right basketball plays. You don't always have to be the hero. And if Grimes comes back, let's say Grimes comes back in like a week. I hate to say it, but I could just see like Reddish may still be in the rotation, but not get that many minutes at all. But let's say Reddish like just has a stinker next game. It's possible he just doesn't play at all. Tip is that type of guy, I feel like. But if Reddish plays extremely well, and let's say I'm not rooting for anyone to struggle, but what if Quickly struggles? Like, yeah, he had that solid game last game. He put up 27-7. I'm not even trying to be a hater, but he put up those points when the game was completely over, and it looked like the Pistons were just done. Let's say he stinks it up. Reddish continues to play very well. He throws Grimes back in the rotation. Is it possible we see D Rose? We see D Rose. We see Grimes. We see Reddish, Obi, and Hartenstein. That's kind of like a hot take thing, maybe. If Quickly continues to take bad shots and not read the floor well and kind of messes up the second unit, because there's been inconsistencies with the flow of that when it came to the preseason or even moments in the first and second game as well. But that's the thing with Reddish. Reddish needs to stay healthy, needs to be consistent. That's been his theme. I'm not banking on him to play really well, though, consistently, because he's had his ups and downs. But when he's playing at his best, he's actually a damn good player. His lows are really low, though, but we understand what he brings to the table with his size, which we desperately need. He's 6'8". He has length. He has shot creation ability. His ability to shoot it from the outside. It just seems like his mechanics are inconsistent sometimes, and he leaves a shot short. But it would just really suck if he's playing well, Grimes comes back, and Reddish doesn't get any action. Because I can't see Grimes coming back and he just doesn't play at all. But that's an extremely great question, dude. But I don't know how Tibbs is looking at it, if he needs to score at least 12 to 15 points, but I definitely am rooting for him. It's a contract year, so I know he's motivated. Yes, Suggs hurt his ankle, Andrew. See what else you guys are saying here. Just catching up on these. So Jalen Brunson so far has 15 assists and 0 turnovers. He's the only player that hasn't committed a turnover. Yeah, I did see that. That's huge. And I don't think Randall committed a turnover last game, if I believe. I haven't seen the Magic play at all, but if you look at the final scores, they're a young team. Yeah, I brought that up earlier at the very beginning of the show, like the results of the Magic so far. I can share these scores with you. Yeah, they've been extremely close. They're just so young that they haven't really figured out how to win games yet or close out games. Because they were very close with the Celtics. I got to give them credit there. I do. Detroit, we obviously went on to kill Detroit. Hawks took it out there. I know they were up at one point in that game, but the Celtics, they've played good basketball so far. I really do got to give credit to the Celtics. But let me go to the Magic depth chart. And let's look at the stats, like, so we can look at these together. Like, I'm aware of these, but, not everyone has time to just look at these stats of these players. So, starting off with Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony's off to a great start scoring the ball in bunches. He's averaging 19.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists. See, shooting it efficiently. It's 2 games, obviously. Shooting it well from 3. So he's been efficient so far. He only had 2 assists last game versus Atlanta. So Brunson's definitely going to have to be the more consistent playmaker. And I think he will be the more consistent distributor of the ball. But you just see his high motor. He had 9 rebounds versus Boston. Like, he's a bulldog. He plays extremely hard. Terrence Ross. We know what Terrence Ross is. Decent defender. He can catch fire, hit the most difficult shots. He's going to beat us back door. Franz Wagner. Just very solid. 15.6 rebounds, 3 assists. If we look at his game log, he had 18.6 rebounds, 2 assists versus Boston. Didn't do much versus Atlanta in 36 minutes, but you see the amount of minutes these starters are getting, though, because their bench is so limited right now with injuries. So, let's see if the Knicks are more in shape tomorrow night. We know Tibbs always is about conditioning. I accidentally tapped on Franz twice. Paolo Banchero, he's averaging 23.3 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, 3.5 or 3.3 assists. But I think it's the efficiency. He's not shooting very efficient. We're going to have to force him into tough shots. He can knock down tough shots, but he's someone that's just not afraid. He's a very fearless player. He's athletic as well. He just has, like, you watch him play, it's like his moves, that's a rookie type of thing. He's going to try his best to get to the free throw line. We're going to have to force him outside on the perimeter. That was his Achilles heel at Duke. He's a pretty solid mechanic, but has to be more consistent. But these are just the type of guys that I'm afraid with Mitchell Robinson defending. You know, like these guys that can average 13, 10, 3. He's even a solid passer of the ball. That's why he got some comparisons to Al Horford coming out of Duke. He's a good feel. When he's in the post, he recognizes he doesn't always have to give up the ball. He can kick or go up with the ball. He can give it up. But yeah, let's see the games. He's only shooting 44% though. So he's not afraid to attempt the threes though. He's shooting 3.3 threes per game. So that's been an emphasis to really continue to shoot that and expand his range. But let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, it's really early, dude. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, buzzer beater. Oh, damn. I was like way behind on the chat. Let's see. We need this one tomorrow. And Brunson making everyone better so far, including Randall. We have a point guard that's starting to hit his prime. And he's young. He's probably the best point guard since Derek Harper. Yeah, I know about Derek Harper, obviously, with those 90s Knicks teams. I know a lot of Knicks fans like Derek Harper. But I heard he was a steady, nice point guard. And I think we got a very nice point guard in Jalen Brunson. People could talk about the money. I don't give a shit. Like, next time we sign someone to a certain amount of money when it comes to a contract, we shouldn't even care because the market is just crazy. It's just the market at this point. The market's just insane, y'all. It really is wild. And it's like getting to the point like, yeah, maybe it doesn't seem like this player is worth this money across the entire league, but to your team, it's like, yeah, what are the chances? Like, maybe this is a little too much money. Well, what are the chances we're going to get someone to this caliber? We may need to overpay a little bit. But yeah, let's check in on the stats for the New York Knicks as well. For anyone wondering, we know the depth charts going in these stats. So Jalen Brunson's just been very solid. 16 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7.5 assists, tied for 11th in the league there. Shooting 45% from the field. Damn, he's only shooting 60% from the free throw line, though. It's only 2 games, but I thought he was shooting better than that. Shooting 37% from 3. 4 rebounds. That's the thing. I think he's such an underrated rebounder. But just very solid. I think he's going to have a pretty good game versus the Magic. I do think so. Evan Fournier feels like he's done nothing. Yeah, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 36% from the field. He's going to hit it from 3, though. It's just I think one of the main reasons he's so inefficient, like when he takes quality looks, they go in. But I hate when he takes those off the dribble deep twos. Those shots piss me off so much. I hate those. Those are so frustrating. Now the ugly stats. But we hope he gets it up, and I think he will get it up. The efficiency, though, will that go up? RJ Barrett came off one of his roughest games as a pro the first game, kind of bounced back the second game. 14.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 33% from the field. Positive, shooting better from the free throw line, I guess. 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 14.5 points. I think he's going to have a pretty good game versus Orlando. Well, he's going to have to, actually. He's going to have to. It's 4th year. Going to have to. Randall, the stats don't tell the whole story, but he's just playing smart, sharing the ball, getting buckets within the flow of the offense. He didn't have an assist last game, but it still felt like he was having those past 2 assists. He was being unselfish. Shooting 50% from the field. Shooting 14 shots per game. 44% from 3, 19.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 77% from the free throw line. But you guys know what I love about this team so far. It's just that we're not relying on just one player for our entire offense like the last couple seasons. It's like we're sharing the ball, and it's just teamwork, you know? We're just getting everyone involved, and it contributed to winning basketball versus the Pistons. I love that game so much because I believe Quickly was our only 20-point per game or 20-point scorer, and it was off the bench. You look at the starters, it was just like pretty much everyone contributed except Fournier. But I just love to see those stats when it's like Brunson, 15 points, just making an example. RJ, 18, and then someone else, 16, 14, you know, that type of thing. I love that. Hope we continue to share the ball. I love the emphasis of getting out and running. When the Pistons got a bucket, RJ on the other end, quick layup. What's going on? Just one New York Giants? Yes, sir, man. Whew, that win was scary, though, bro. All of them have them, though. Make sure you wear your hat tomorrow. I don't really wear my hat anymore, because I got a haircut. The only reason I wore this hat was because my hair was wild. Yeah, I had to wear it for work because my hair is wild. And I didn't wear it versus the Pistons, and we won, so I'm not the curse. Someone else is. That's encouraging. I know we had a lot versus the Grizzlies. No, when Knicks are third in the NBA in assists with 28.5 and second in the league in fewest turnovers with 12. I love the turnovers, and it makes sense. Randall's not turned the ball over a lot. Brunson didn't turn over the ball a couple games so far. I like it. Take care of the ball. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up like those rank. I'm interested to see where we are in the rebounds. I'm interested in that. Team rebounding. All right. I'm pull this up for you guys. This is what we have to improve at. All right, so this is just rebounding. Hawks are first. Yeah, we need to do better. Wait, so does it say how many rebounds per game? How do they do this? But we're not at the top. Oh, I don't like the way they do contested rebounds, contested rebound percentage. That's weird. I don't know. Yo, what's going on, Even Best? I hope all is well, bro. I appreciate you tuning in. How are you doing? said, how's grown-up life, buddy? Just working right now. Monday through Friday. Coming home, doing videos. I always look forward to watching the Knicks, though, and all that. So work's been good. My plan is to go to school next year, go to college next year. No, Knicks are third in the NBA. Oh, yeah, read that already. Yes, sir, it's team basketball. What's going on, just one New York Giants? Gosh, like I never thought I would see an account like that. Heart over height, yes, sir. Yeah, when it comes to those defensive mismatches, like I understand that completely, dude. I really do. Scares me too. At least he's a stronger dude. But like, see, this is the thing. This is why the best case scenario, like a dream scenario, would be like Cam Reddish pops off so much. Fournier plays like ass. Cam Reddish goes to starting lineup. Grimes is on the bench. Because we need height, we need strength, and we need to kind of disguise Brunson a little on defense. Like, he's going to try really hard, but just certain mismatches, he's going to struggle. But Fournier is so inconsistent on defense or just not a good defender, it hurts. And we can slide RJ over to that too. We'll have someone that's 6'6", plenty of height at the 2. Not saying Fournier wasn't, but RJ only being 6'6" at the 3, I don't like. And then you'll have Cam Reddish, who's 6'8" at the 3 position. He's athletic. And I think that could help out our defense. But that's like a dream scenario if Reddish like really balls out Fournier's ass where we trade him. If it's nationally televised, I will. I'm not sure if it's nationally televised. Because I usually watch them on these streaming sites, and I wouldn't want to stream it if I'm like a minute behind y'all. No, we should beat the top teams of we were to make the playoffs, isn't that? Noah, we should beat the top teams of. You're saying we could beat the top teams one game at a time. My man Buzzer Beater says, Noah, you know more about communications and sports journalism than all these college professors combined. I appreciate that, man. I just love basketball at the end of the day. I'm never one of those people that, like, I know more than you when it comes to this. Like, I just enjoy talking about basketball. I'm definitely going to try to get more videos up on Hoop Addict. I've just been working, and then I have to focus on the previews for the Knicks, so it's tough balancing work, this channel, and the NBA channel too. Trying to think what my next topic's going to be. It's not even just the height, though. It's just like who's next to RJ, like with Fournier there. And I don't think RJ's consistently good enough at defense yet that he's all right at that 3 position personally. Do you see any more moves being made prior to the deadline? Well, for the Knicks? Hopefully Fournier's out of here, but I doubt it. So far, I give him nothing. 2 games into the season. Oh, like throughout his entire tenure with the Knicks? Like so far with the Knicks? His 3rd season? All right, how should I grade this? What did I expect? Like, I knew the bad with what was coming with Tibbs, but then I knew the good. I remember I wanted Kenny Atkinson really bad because I wanted player development. So Tibbs bringing us to the playoffs, I don't care. That was awesome. That definitely helps. I don't like the way his offense is run. I think the offense is extremely vanilla. Even with a point guard, we still see the sets are kind of the same. Let's see what else. He's been kind of given a weird hand, though. That first year with the Knicks, the roster is constructed really weird. It was pretty much almost the same season as the prior season, except we drafted like Obi and quickly. I don't think he fully puts the young players in a position to be successful. I think he's better with Obi now, but he used to just put Obi in the corner. He still places RJ in the corner. I understand RJ is kind of limited when it comes to like creating jump shots off the dribble, but I still hate that really much that we gave him this money and he's still like stuck in the corner. I'll give him like a B. Give him like a B. Like eventually did play the young guys, but I don't like the way he utilizes them, if you know what I mean. But he knows how to win. It's just his tactics are weird. Wait, what are you saying? Even best horrible versus jaw sag for who? What are you talking about? With Chet out for the year, do you think we could bag Shea? Yo, yeah, I don't know what Shea's mindset is. If I'm Shea, like I understand they're trying to get another talent and then they may be good. But it's just like if I'm Shea, I'm losing patience over there. Like he's such a good player. He really is. Shit, but yeah, if he's upset, you go after Shea. That team's just so bad. Like Giddy, I think he's pretty good. I think he's kind of overrated if I'm being real though. I like his passing, but his 3-point shooting still has ways to go. Is this D Rose's last year with us? Let's see how his contract's set up. Like next season, if the Thunder are still really bad, if I'm Shea, I'm getting out of there. All right, so I'll pull this up for you guys. Derrick Rose's contract. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, by the way. If you haven't already, smash the like one. Thank you, guys. So when we look at his contract, let's see. He has a club option in 2023, 2024. Then he's an unrestricted free agent in 2024. Okay. So we have a team. So he's a team option 2023, 2024. I wonder if we'll keep him or let him walk. Damn, 15 mil. Thoughts on bearded Tibbs? I like it. Because I'm not going to lie, he looks weird without the beard. But yeah, are you a fan of Chet, Carl? Thank you, Even. I really appreciate that. Hope all's well with you. But if the game was nationally televised, I would definitely stream it because then I would only be like 20 seconds behind. But with if I'm watching it on like Stream East or some streaming site, I'm like really behind. And then everyone's gonna be like, that happened already. But I may. I actually asked one of my boys, I'm not gonna say his name, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, if he wanted to come on and talk about this game, but he was out with his girl. I said, oh, no problem. And then my one friend's at work. So let's see. Oh yeah, the offense has definitely been better than the defense. Not saying the offense has been perfect. Like we had our chances to capitalize in that Grizzlies game, but yeah. Yeah, I think his passing could actually throw off Bobo and Mo Bamba tomorrow. Like I talked about that unpredictability, Isaiah Hornstein's going to bring that. I think Obi's going to have a pretty good game tomorrow. As long as we're not too predictable, because those guys have long ass arms. But yeah, let me ask you guys that. What would you guys do if you're the Knicks? Like, let's say you're the head coach. Let's say Cam's playing pretty damn well. Grimes comes back. Let's say he comes back in a week. He comes back. What are you doing? Reddish plays well. Grimes comes back. What are you doing? Let's see. IQ plays better than with D Rose and Brunson at this point. Should we develop IQ as a sweet Lou Williams type? Yeah, I think the point guard thing should honestly go go out the window. He's not a point guard. Like, yeah, he plays point guard at times, but his his ability to read the floor is so damn inconsistent. Like, he's shown progression like last season he did, but then it just seems like it goes down, up, down. Like, just play him off the ball. Yeah, I agree. That's what I think Tibbs is. So you think we won't play Reddish at all if Grimes comes back? Because you have IQ, you have Rose, you have IQ, Rose, Grimes out there, OB, and Mitch. So what would you do with Reddish's minutes? He just goes back to not playing? Okay, buzzer reader. Yeah, would you guys rather start like Cam or Grimes if Cam's playing well? I understand the argument for both. Like Grimes, like I'll take Grimes starting and Cam over Fournier any day though, because yeah, Fournier may be a little more steady in a way of, well, I guess I don't. The bar set's so low for him. Like he's been in more moments, but the upside's just higher with Cam and Grimes. Like their games will have more upside than Fournier's, especially with their defense. But I'm kind of like starting to become one of those people. Like I'm not saying Reddish is next Paul George like some people think. But I just love Cam's size, and he brings us down predictability with his size and athleticism. Like we need size. You like RJ at the 2? Street science, what's going on, man? Yeah, I think Grimes is the safest bet though to start because he's always constantly engaged on defense, and he doesn't do too much, which I like. Because I do worry about the ball dominance if Cam does start, maybe. But yeah, it was even interesting when we had Bullock and RJ out there together. Like, yeah, RJ's had some weird people next to him. I think that's why I wanted Matherin so bad. I think that's why I wanted Matherin so bad. Obviously, won early. But yeah, we need a 2 at one of those spots, 2 or 3, depending on where RJ ends up playing for his career for the rest of it. Yeah, it seems like every time Cam's come in so far, he just turns the ball over. I've noticed that. Definitely have. I have all these tabs open now from these segments. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, be free to put them in the chat. Spam questions. I love answering questions. Yeah, I don't trust Quickly either. I hate saying a player is what he is, but it just seems like Quickly is that streaky player is going to look amazing and then awful. I give him an A. It's only 2 games, though. Because people are like, when I remember made a video about like Randall bounce back, but my definition of Randall's bounce, like having a bounce back year, isn't like someone else's definition. People are like, oh, you think he's going to be an all-star then? No. I want his IQ to be better. I want him to play smarter. I'm okay with Randall averaging 17 points per game if it's on good efficiency, he's taking the right shots, and he's making the extra pass, and he's engaged, and his mind's there. I don't give a shit about him averaging 25 points or him making the All-Star team. I just want someone that's more engaged. But yeah, what grade would you guys give Randall? It'd be funny, Andrew. I just got a notification. We just hired Kenny Atkinson. So we just fired Tibbs. That quick. Just like that. Kenny Atkinson said, F the Warriors. No, I just got a tweet. Donovan Mitchell has 3 straight games with 30-plus points to start the season. I know you're joking, Andrew. You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. Why are you trolling, Andrew? Hopefully Tibbs holds Randall accountable this season, no cap. Hopefully Randall holds himself accountable this year. But I agree with you. It just seemed like he really babied Randall last year. But it just seems like that's what his personality is. That it's like maybe you can't be too tough on him because then he's going to lose his shit. We saw Randall lose his shit a lot last season, and it pissed me off. It's like we're dealing with a child. But yeah, I'm going to answer a few more questions, and I'm going to head out. I appreciate you guys tuning in, guys. Appreciate you all. That's who I wanted. I wanted Kenny Atkinson. I was like, maybe he's not the guy that we're going to win the whole thing with, but he's going to develop some nice young talent. Like, I like what he did with the Nets when they had D'Lo and they had Jared Allen and all that. I don't think they do team captains for NBA like NFL. Maybe they have their own captains in practice though and stuff. I don't think we have team captains. Yeah, I'm okay with Brunson being the captain. He's the point guard, yeah. He's the one driving the boat right now. Oh yeah, by the way, update guys. Today I did order a webcam, and I did order an adapter for my laptop, so I'll be able to use my microphone actually with good quality during live streams. So my live stream should be better, and then I may be consistently using the green screen more. Because on the MacBook, it's literally like the inputs for the charger to charge the laptop, so I had to get an adapter for it. So yeah, I ordered a webcam for my laptop. Then I ordered an adapter for my mic. I've been fine with Tibbs' rotations so far, in my opinion. Yeah, but honestly though, I think Hartenstein's better than Sims. I like Sims, but if we're being real with ourselves, don't we need what Hartenstein brings? We need something different. Don't you guys agree with that though? I like Sims too though, I really do. He's such just quiet demeanor, plays hard. Oh, Tim Hardaway, Richmond, and Chris Mullin. Yeah, that Warriors team was sick, bro. Tim Hardaway, killer crossover, bro. I always like watching Richmond's highlights. Hit a nice shot. Yeah, I think we're going to destroy the Magic when it comes to depth this upcoming game, especially with the injuries they have. Adrian Woj, baby. The Knicks look energized and look good through the first 2 games of the season. Do you think they'll make the playoffs? I hope so. Yeah, buzzer beater loves Isaiah Hartenstein. He was even talking about, like, can Isaiah Hartenstein someday be the starter for them? I think Hartenstein's pretty young. Isaiah Hartenstein's only 24 years old. I'm not gonna lie though, sometimes the defense pisses me off. Like he gets caught flat-footed and then they get an easy bucket. Yeah, he's the same age as Mitch. What star would be out there though? Like who's the next disgruntled star? And I think this upcoming free agency class sucks. Let me see, 2020. Or is it? No, it might be good actually. Guys, though, don't get me the free agency talks though. We're not getting any free agents. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm done with the free agency shit, but let's just look at it for fun. Just look at it for fun. Russell Westbrook. Oh, we can get Russell Westbrook. Chris Middleton player option. He's accepting that. Kyrie not getting him. Maybe we can get Kevin Love. We'll think that's like an old school Knicks move. Get a player that's way out of his prime. D'Angelo. We don't need a point guard. Horford. Miles Turner's free agent. We got Mitch though. We have so many players under contract. All these guys we wouldn't sign. Kelly Oubre, Dylan Brooks. I love Jalen Brunson. I'll probably get Jalen Brunson's jersey. Haven't gotten a jersey since RJ. Actually, I don't know if I'm buying this shit. Jerseys are expensive as fuck. Yeah, Dylan Brooks is a pretty good player. But the Grizzlies have such a good culture, I don't see them letting him walk. I don't know what his market would be. I don't know how much we could give him. With Randall under contract, Fournier under contract, Brunson, RJ, Mitch, D Rose. I don't know. I think Brunson will be here for the future. Unless we like trade him for a big time star or something. He's a bucket, bro. He's mentally tough. I like Trent. He's nice, bro. Yeah, buzzer beater. I think you predicted what was it, 5th or 6th seed, and I've been kind of just wait and see what this team does. I want to stream the game tomorrow, but I don't want to be in a huge delay. I don't know how my energy will be tomorrow though. Like it depends. Like after work. Brunson won't be 30. Oh, wait, is he? He's 26, right? He's 25, 26. Actually, yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's 26. Well, I don't know. I'm interested to see how. I know he's a smaller guard, and usually they don't last as long. We'll wait and see what happens, though. Yeah, I'm not giving him a lot because he's had more inconsistent years and injury-filled years than productive years. that we still have to see Cam stay healthy, man. If he gets hurt again, he's done. But yeah, I'll answer a couple more, just read a couple more comments. Adrian says, all my friends hate the Knicks and say they were trash. I straight up say they're casuals. The Knicks are not bad at all. I appreciate that, Adrian. I would try to get something for him. As much as I like Rose, he's getting older. Yeah, he still needs to show more. I'm not sold on Reddish after one game. What do you mean he's been limited so far? I appreciate that, Buzzer Beater. I really do. And I'm starting to understand how like adults feel now. Well, technically I'm a 18 now, but being tired from work and all that. Oh yeah, I think it's smart. I think it's smart by Tibbs. He's still contributing though in that Pistons game. He had huge threes. Wouldn't have made those 3 threes. It's so weird how the YouTube algorithm works though. That like first 3 minutes in, like, let me know in the chat. Did you guys get post notifications? Did you guys get post notifications? And if you don't have the post notifications on, that bell next to that subscribe button, make sure you light that bell up and make sure your notifications are on. Because then you'll be alert when I go live. Because the first 3 minutes in, barely had any people. Then like 5-10 minutes in, then people start popping in. Like I don't know if there's a delay with the notification or some people get it much later. Like I wonder what it is. No notification. Do you have notifications on? Because YouTube sometimes just sucks. It doesn't send them on. Okay, you got the notification. But if you don't have the notification on, make sure you click that bell next to the subscribe button. Like I'll show. I'll just type in the NBA channel. This right here. If you don't have the bell on right here next to the subscribe button, just light it up. Just light it up. Then you'll get notifications. Oh yeah, that shit just broke. YouTube just asked. Yo, South Bronx, New York. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. He says, going to the game tomorrow, section 227. Well, you have an awesome time tomorrow. Hopefully the New York Knicks come out with a huge W versus the Orlando Magic. Then take care of business. It should be a good game, though. Magic, yeah, they're 0-3, but they have talent. And I think the Knicks will win. I think it's going to be a good game. But I appreciate you tuning in, South Bronx. Yeah, where are you guys all from in the chat? Where are you guys all from? I feel Pistons are like the Grizzlies from the East. You mean their future of what they can be? Oh, you're going tomorrow, Adrian. Queens. Yeah, I believe my dad was born in Manhattan. I believe. Got North Carolina in the chat. Long Island. Staten Island. I think I knew someone else from Staten Island. I have family from Long Island, I believe. That's awesome, though. I love hearing where you guys are from in New York. That's awesome. Got Brooklyn in the house. Like, I definitely want to go to a Knicks game again. Last time I went to the Garden was a while ago, 2018, I think. It's been a while since I've gone to the Garden. I definitely want to go again. Who's quicker posting tweets? Depends. Sometimes you get cooked. Sometimes Shams gets cooked. Okay, I used to live in Florida. I lived in Jacksonville, Fort Lauderdale, Naples. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Just gonna chill for the rest of the night, get some rest for work tomorrow, and I'll make sure I catch that Knicks game. I'm gonna catch the Knicks game. Bring you guys maybe bring you guys a recap and a live stream afterwards. Try to record that video quick so the live stream is not too late. Or actually, I may not do the live stream because like no one ever joins those after the game, which is really inconsistent because the big Knicks YouTubers, they get so many viewers, I can't even compete. I be getting like 2 viewers in that bitch. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. I'll be real, I think everyone's overhyped when it comes to the Knicks. It's just the media and all that. Our fans are crazy. I like Grimes though. Not saying he's gonna be a future star, but I think he's gonna be a very quality player. But Carl, I appreciate you tuning in. My last game at MSG was D Wade's final game at MSG, and all the fans chanted MVP, rolling the eyes. Yeah, I went when it was Wade's last year, but it wasn't his last game. Wade sucked in that game. Dotson went off for 30. But shout out to Buzzer Beater, shout out to Jabroni, shout out to Adrian. He'll be an all-star. Wow. Shout out to my man Andrew, always supporting the channel. Shout out to my boy on Twitter, my man Carl, my boy South Bronx in the house. Let's see who else is in here. Ashley, I always appreciate the love and support. Let's see who else is in here. I think I got everyone. No Street Science. Even Best was in the house. Let's see. Jay Sniper was in the house. Just One New York Giants is in the house, or was in the house. Giggles is in the house. He said if Grimes is out, I want to see Svi. Well, Grimes has been out since the first game. Grant James. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, me too, man. Appreciate you. Jaw with the sauce. I appreciate you tuning in. Devin in the house. Jalen Brunson is good. I think he's playing like he's worth $26 million. Especially for the history with the Knicks at the point guard position, he definitely has. That's a great way to end it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. This channel would not be possible without you guys. Make sure you stay safe and just keep doing your things. Appreciate y'all for sure. Peace out, y'all.